incredible fan base.
A lot of people are cheering out there.
We're going to put a seatbelt on you to keep you in the booth.
Breaks a tackle at the 10, angles in, touchdown, and he has dominated this opener tonight.
I'm Jeff Gravely with Tony Haynes, and I guess you got to practice retirement last week. There was no NC State football game. You didn't do any of the basketball games.
That was a recipe for laziness. I got a taste of what the future looks like.
Did you survive the week?
I was pretty worthless, other than having a chance to go speak to the Durham Sports Club.
Okay.
Some nice folks over there at Grosedale Country Club. I enjoyed that. Saw a guy who has a lot of NC State blood in his veins, the great Bucky Waters.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Bucky?
Yes.
And Bucky and I kind of are different because I left Duke to come to NC State. Bucky Waters left NC State to go to Duke. So we talked about that.
Good. I got a story to tell you.
Okay.
So last night, my wife and I are sitting there watching TV, and she gets a text from my daughter. It's a picture of her friend who is in labor, getting ready to give birth. And our daughter goes, look at what she and her husband are watching. And I'll show you the picture, Tony. It's the Pulse of the Pack.
Yeah.
So we're not only providing NC State content to the masses out there, we're helping those mamas get through labor and enter the world of motherhood and childbirth.
Doctors recommend Pulse of the Pack for their pregnant patients because they want them to get plenty of sleep.
No. I kid you not.
No,
2 hours after she sent this picture, she
it
sent
worked.
another one. Baby is here.
There you go.
So congratulations.
Got to be an NC State fan.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're out there helping mamas.
Yep.
As we go along.
Congratulations.
So
very effective.
Are you prepared for your last regular season road trip of your broadcasting career?
Well, I better be prepared. You're going on the radio and you're going to run your mouth for 3 hours. You better be prepared. If you're not prepared, people will notice.
Okay.
Right. So I'm getting there. And in fact, doing this podcast and the coaches' shows help you prepare.
It does.
Because you got to prepare.
That's right.
You got to prepare for this.
That's right.
You got to look up the numbers and the stats and all the other things that you do in your preparation. So this is a part of the week when we're doing the podcast and doing Coach Dorn's radio show.
Are you mentally preparing yourself to say, this is my last regular season football game on the road?
I had not thought about it until you brought it up.
Well, sorry to bring it up.
That's okay.
So you have prepared yourself by, this is just another game, this is just another trip.
That's right. I'm taking it one at a time, baby.
One at a time.
Yeah.
You know you've got 3 games left, and all the Pack's got to do is win one more, and you've got another game left, which would be a bowl game. That's why I emphasize this could be your last regular season. Well, it will be your last regular season road trip. Maybe NC State could end up in a bowl and play in Yankee Stadium.
That would be nice.
Or what's going to happen is they're going to end up at Fenway Park. And being the Yankee fan that you are.
That's all right.
All right.
That's fine. I've been to Fenway, and I enjoyed that.
It'll be a unique experience to see a football game.
It's just hard to believe they could actually fit a football field inside Fenway Park.
They do. They do.
They sure do.
Well, one thing that we did see a couple of weeks ago was, I think, NC State's most impressive win in a long time. I think we saw the first complete game of the year. Just what have you been able to take away from that? And as Coach Dorn says, you know what? We've got to forget that game.
Yeah.
You know, we've got to realize what it took to win that game. That's what's going to help them moving forward.
First off, I think one thing that really impressed me when you go through a tough stretch as a football team like NC State did, losing four out of 5, and on the back end of that was the performance at Pitt, which Coach Dorn referred to as the worst performance of the year by NC State.
Yep.
And so they're kind of circling the wagons. Now you get late in the season, you're playing Georgia Tech on November 1st. There are some teams that tend to fragment a little bit, right? When you're going through a tough stretch like that and then you don't play very well on the road at Pittsburgh. It seems, based on what Coach Dorn has said about this last several days, this team has trended in the opposite direction. It's almost like the adversity has brought them together a little bit more. And then, so that manifested itself in what was obviously the best performance of the year for NC State. We've seen the Pack play well in stretches. You know, first half East Carolina, second half Virginia, second half against Wake Forest.
Right.
Well, we've not seen them do that for the entirety of 4 quarters. And that's what Georgia Tech was all about. Now, as Coach Norton told us midway through the season, once he had identified strengths and weaknesses of his team, he said to us on the radio show, this might be one of those years where we've got to outscore people because the strength of our team is the offense. And we know this is a very potent offense that really showed up against Georgia Tech. But and that was one of those games. Moving forward, I think you're going to have to win more games like that where the offense has to be efficient. You're going to have to score touchdowns, which they've done very well this year. I think 77% of their trips into the red zone have produced touchdowns. And so that helps you out. But the defense did just enough.
It's hard to believe we talk about that when they gave up 500 yards total to Haynes King. But what they were able to do is hold Georgia Tech to a couple of field goal attempts or minus fours, where State was scoring touchdowns.
Right, and the running backs didn't hurt them.
Exactly.
But Haynes King is just the most unique player in the league, and may end up being player of the year in the ACC based on the ability to just kind of do it all for Georgia Tech. But you hung in there. You kind of a bend but don't break approach on defense. For the most part, they avoided a lot of explosive plays. Georgia Tech got some. Defensively, that's been an issue at times this year. But for NC State to go out there and run the football and push a physical Georgia Tech team around like that was really impressive.
Pulse of the Pack is sponsored in part by Coca-Cola. Fan work is thirsty work, so enjoy a Coca-Cola.
I stand alone with fire inside, with passion burning in my veins.
Fact, it's Ford Truck Month, and it's the best time to get a great deal on a new Ford truck. From the company that assembles more vehicles, employs more hourly workers, who help make Ford the best-selling truck brand in the Carolinas. It's Ford Truck Month. Get great deals on a huge selection, and that's a fact. Now get 0% financing for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days on select 2025 F-150 trucks.
Your animals depend on you every day. So we build equipment you can depend on every day. Equipment that powers through mud, dust, and extreme weather. So cutting hay, feeding livestock, and managing land is easier. Loaded with intuitive, innovative features and tech, Case IH equipment isn't just built to work. It's built to work for livestock producers. Case IH, built by farmers.
Mr. Wolf, you're all set. Complete perimeter protection installed and monitored 24/7.
No matter who you root for, we can all identify with the best in smart home security. CPI Security is the official security and smart home company of NC State Athletics. CPI Security. Identify yourself.
From protecting your teeth and gums, to restoring your smile, to sponsoring your local team, Tar Heel Periodontics is the premier periodontal practice of the Triangle community. Our team of highly skilled doctors provide dental care as individual as you are, working with you to build a personalized treatment plan to create the beautiful, healthy smile of your dreams. With offices conveniently located across the Triangle and Central North Carolina, you're never far from the Tar Heel Periodontics family. Visit our website or call now.
I stand alone with fire inside, with passion burning in my veins.
This segment of Pulse of the Pack is presented by Coca-Cola.
Now by Charlton Warren, co-DC, safeties coach, Nichols coach, alongside Tony Haynes, Matt Chaz, and I with you, Coach. Thanks for letting us put you to work here.
No doubt.
All right, let's cut to the chase here. You were the DC at Air Force. Yep. You were the DC at Indiana. Yep. You've been a co-DC many a time. You're thrust into a really difficult emotional situation with what the Elliott family has been through.
Coach Elliott's a great leader, and he gives me a lot of input on what we do weekly. And so from that standpoint, we were locking step on what the game plan was, and then I had to go execute it.
People will ask the question, all right, co-defensive coordinator, what does that mean? You also coach a position, the nickels. So kind of explain your responsibilities along with Coach Elliott during the week as you're putting together a plan.
Yeah, what we'll do is he'll say, hey, I want you to really put your eyes and focus on these areas of the game plan. I'm going to put my eyes on these areas of the game plan. And then with the entire staff, we're going to present those ideas that originate from you and originate from me. And then at the end, we'll all make a decision on which direction we're going to go in. And that's big because obviously everybody has responsibilities on the staff. But from a game plan, hey, Coach, I think on third down, this is what they're doing. This is what we should do. This is what our players can execute. Here's the film. And we go through that. So that part of it is what I love doing with him.
Now, Coach Doran has been actually open, and it is in the game notes about the nickel position has been banged up. And he actually laughed and said that that's an understatement. Now, I don't want to get into specifics beyond what we should talk about. However, what are the coaching challenges with a group that keeps on dealing with attrition to that degree?
You know, injuries are part of football, and not one person on the opposing team that cares about, I have injuries in my room.
Right.
So therefore, we don't care. And the way we coach and the way we teach these guys, we teach concepts. So I'm always looking to get the best 3 in my room on the field. Even though you may be labeled a free safety, you know what the nickel does. Even though you're labeled a nickel, you know exactly what the strong safety does. And then you just need reps and experience. So from a conceptual standpoint, I'm able to move those guys around to get the best group of guys on the field. And that's what you saw in this last game, where a new starter at nickel, the nickel played strong, a strong played free, and here we go, boys.
You play for the Air Force Falcons 1996 to 98.
Remember it.
You're then active duty military for 10 years.
Yep.
Then you get into coaching once again with Air Force till 2013.
Yep.
Right? So from 1996 to 2013, your football affiliation was in one place.
That's right.
Was with Air Force. Did you envision being then at the highest heights of college athletics, not to knock Air Force, but you moved to multiple stops in the SEC, Georgia, Tennessee. You've been in the Big Ten with Indiana. You've been in the Triangle. Was that part of the plan, or did it just happen?
The honest to God truth is I never wanted to be a football coach. When I graduated from the Air Force Academy, I was an engineer. I went into aircraft avionics. I then joined Special Forces after 9/11, did all kinds of cool things with drones and weapons, and I was going to be a career military officer. After the little bit of the wind down of 9/11, I had to get out of my career field of what I was doing and go be an instructor. Well, they said, hey, we're going to send you back to the academy because your old football coach wants you to come back, and that'll be your 3-year hiatus. Then you'll come back. I got there with those 3 years with Coach DeBerry and then Coach Calhoun and fell in love with mentoring and coaching young men. Very similar to what you do in the military when you have young troops, but on a different level of going to get them out of high school, meet their parents. I didn't know what I didn't know when it came to what a coach did. I thought they just rolled the balls out and came to practice like a player. And I sort of fell in love with the process of the scheming, the competitive part of getting things going for a game plan, but then just what the impact you can make on a young man's life. So after coaching there, of my 7 years active duty, of my 10 years active duty, 7 were active in my career field, 3 were back at the academy. Those 3 years made me decide I wanted to get out and pursue coaching full time. So when they tried to send me to be a lieutenant colonel, I said, hey guys, I'm gonna separate and stay here and coach. And then it just journeyed from there, and I got the bug, and it just took me across the country really with my journey in coaching.
Bring it in, Old Dominion! We know that it takes hard work to be the best in the game. It starts up front with protection, making sure the freight arrives safe and damage-free. Then we work as a team, packing every shipment and running every route with precision. And we always manage the clock to be on time every time, so that every drive is a scoring drive. 1, 2, 3, OD!
Now that's the best in the game. No playoff needed. Old Dominion Freight Line, proud sponsor of college athletics.
I stand alone with fire inside, with passion burning in my veins.
All
right, Mr. Wolf, you're all set. Complete perimeter protection installed and monitored 24/7.
No matter who you root for, we can all identify with the best in smart home security. CPI Security is the official security and smart home company of NC State Athletics. CPI Security. Identify yourself.
From protecting your teeth and gums, to restoring your smile, to sponsoring your local team, Tar Heel Periodontics is the premier periodontal practice of the Triangle community. Our team of highly skilled doctors provide dental care as individual as you are, working with you to build a personalized treatment plan to create the beautiful, healthy smile of your dreams. With offices conveniently located across the Triangle and Central North Carolina, you're never far from the Tar Heel Periodontics family. Visit our website or call now.
I stand alone with fire and sun, with passion burning in my veins.
Fact. It's Ford Truck Month, and it's the best time to get a great deal on a new Ford truck. From the company that assembles more vehicles, employs more hourly workers, who help make Ford the best-selling truck brand in the Carolinas. It's Ford Truck Month. Get great deals on a huge selection, and that's a fact. Now get 0% financing for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days on select 2025 F-150 trucks.
We've put a headset on the general manager, Andy Vaughn, the man behind the curtain, Tony. This is the guy in the belly of the beast of Wolfpack football, on the front lines of all that is discussed in college football, the portal, NIL, rev share, and the house settlement. How do you find a roster? How do you put a roster together? Thankfully, Andy Vaughn has solved all these problems for NC State football, and we appreciate it.
I don't know if I've solved them all, but we're working through them for sure.
Let me start off with the most basic of questions. Okay. And Tony and I were kind of hashing out, like, what should we ask you, and how do we take our time productively with you? We have, I think, societally have a sense of what a general manager does in a business or even on an NFL team. But this is all new for college football. So tell us what a general manager does. What is your job description with NC State football?
Well, that's a loaded question. How long do you have on the air?
We have 7 hours. Okay. Buckle up.
We want you to kill all the time.
Yeah, you just
go.
You brought me out of the shadows to kill all the time. Yeah, no, I got it. It's guys. It's really it varies by school, and it varies by the week, the day, the hour. Sometimes. This is my 20th year in college football. I've been a general manager here. This is going in my third season, and it's drastically different from the time that Coach Doran hired me in February of 2023. If you look at the basics of it, there's a couple of buckets you could put what we do in. Is when I say we, just general managers across the board. First is the managing the identification and evaluation of players, and that's internally in the program and what's on our roster now, and then also on the outside, so high school, junior college, other portal transfers. That's the biggest thing of what we do, is managing that scouting or that personnel department. The other piece of it is the acquisition part, and that's going to be the customer service part. When guys come on campus at any time for an official visit, how does that look and how does that feel? How do we make sure that we roll out the red carpet and everything they need to see to make an educated choice about why NC State is a place for them, that we answer all those questions? And then the marketing piece of it with the creative materials, the videos, the graphics, all the mailers, everything that we send out, and the message that we're putting out in conjunction with Annabelle does in sports media, but how can we really relate that to each recruit and make it personal on a personal level, so it's impactful and effective on that personal level for them. And now the biggest thing is the monetary part, right? The business side of it, which is new for everybody, and we're all figuring it out. And how do we manage the dollars that we have? How do we manage the locker room, making sure that we take care of the guys that are in that room and they put in the time and the blood in the bricks, as Coach likes to talk about? How do we make sure that they feel wanted, and that retention piece is huge for us?
So once revenue sharing started in July, your job ultimately became closer to what a general manager might be doing in his duties at the professional level.
Yes, in your traditional NFL sense of a GM, I'm dealing with the negotiations. I'm helping work through the contract terms and all those things with parents, with the student athletes, with agents. So all those things are really headed towards that pro model and that piece of what we do. It really started with coach coming to me and saying, look, this is where this thing is going. We've got to adapt, and we've got to make this the best thing we can do it, but we're going to do it in my way, and we're going to do it the NC State way. So everything we do in this program is an earn it mentality, right? So we had to find a way to make sure that the NIL part of it represents that. And that's why we talk about taking care of the locker room and the guys that are here on campus. So we visited NFL teams last year when we went out to Cal. My staff and I spent a day with the 49ers, just going with the front office staff, working through how they do things. And not everything's an apples to apples comparison, but there's a lot of things that you can learn from the processes and procedures that they have at the NFL level, and how can we adapt that to what we do to make sure that we're trying to make the best decisions we can for the roster, and then also in a business sense.
Coach, we've had the bye week, but I want to go back in time. The week prior, we didn't have a show last week, so I want to relive Georgia Tech a little bit. An incredible win, great scene on the field with the field rush after you win a game over the number 8 team in America. Winning begets winning, right? How much momentum does that build here for this back quarter of the year?
Yeah, it helps. I mean, proof of concept, all the stuff we've been talking about, in the games that we didn't win, was our lack of complementary football and how those spurts of not playing together cost us games. And I kept telling them, as soon as we play 4 quarters of complementary football, there's no one that can beat us. And we finally did that, and we got the results. And it does. It builds confidence, but it also brings a lot of power to the words that we've been saying to these guys on, let's just get this done the way it's supposed to be done. And now there's a good feeling. You go into a bye week with, that kind of reward from all the work and all the hard stuff we've been through. For these players, I was just so happy for them and proud of them, because there was a lot of people telling them what they couldn't do out there, and they hung together. They really demanded a lot from each other. They were fed up with it, and that's what we needed. We needed them to put their foot down.
Before that, NC State had dropped 4 out of 5 games, and the last of those 5 games was the performance at Pitt, which you said was probably NC State's worst of the season. But then they bounce back with that kind of performance. Some teams go through a stretch like that late in the year. They might fragment a little bit, but your team has seemingly gone in the other direction. Does that speak to the character that you've talked to us about all season long?
Yeah, I mean, these kids are awesome to be around. They want to win. They want to please their coaches. They take criticism, and they come back every day with the mentality they want to get better. And they also know what we've dealt with. It's if you're on the inside, understanding what it really means to have that many players out on one side of the football and have a coach go through what he did, it's pretty big. And so these guys know it's not like we're playing with a healthy roster and all things are great and you just go play bad, So I'm proud of them because they've hung together. We haven't used excuses. Next man up's tried to do the best that he can. A really good team win where we played well together, and we've been waiting for it. We had halves of it in Wake Forest, halves in UVA game, and been waiting to see a 4-quarter performance, and we got one.
Pulse of the Pack is sponsored in part by Carolina Ford Dealers. See your Carolina Ford dealer, proud sponsor of NC State Athletics.
I stand alone with fire inside, with passion burning in my veins.
Fact. It's Ford Truck Month, and it's the best time to get a great deal on a new Ford truck. From the company that assembles more vehicles, employs more hourly workers, who help make Ford the best-selling truck brand in the Carolinas. It's Ford Truck Month. Get great deals on a huge selection, and that's a fact. Now get 0% financing for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days on select 2025 F-150 trucks.
I've always been curious. I was the kind of kid who took stuff apart just to figure out how to put it back together. I grew up in a house where science was dinner table talk. Curiosity was just part of life. At NC State, I found the people and the place to chase those questions. When you're surrounded by people who push you, you begin to realize it all starts here.
right, Mr. Wolf, you're all set. Complete perimeter protection installed and monitored 24/7.
No matter who you root for, we can all identify with the best in smart home security. CPI Security is the official security and smart home company of NC State Athletics. CPI Security. Identify yourself.
From protecting your teeth and gums, to restoring your smile, to sponsoring your local team, Tar Heel Periodontics is the premier periodontal practice of the Triangle community. Our team of highly skilled doctors provide dental care as individual as you are, working with you to build a personalized treatment plan to create the beautiful, healthy smile of your dreams. With offices conveniently located across the Triangle and Central North Carolina, you're never far from the Tar Heel Periodontics family. Visit our website or call now.
I stand alone with fire and sun, with passion burning in my veins.
Pulse of the Pack is sponsored in part by Coca-Cola. Fan work is thirsty work, so enjoy a Coca-Cola.
I want to look at the records of the opponents that NC State has faced. It's pretty good. So East Carolina right now, 6-3. Virginia, 8-2. Wake, 6-3. Duke, 5-4. Virginia Tech, 3-6. Campbell, 2-8. Notre Dame, 7-2. Pittsburgh, 7-2. Georgia Tech, 8-1. That's a pretty good schedule. I don't know if we, at the beginning of the season, anticipated some of the records, the good records that we're seeing from some of the opponents that NC State is facing.
Yeah, it would be interesting now if we could, if there's a website you can go and check strength of schedule.
Right.
Because based on the results and the seasons these teams are having, you would think that NC State has a pretty impressive strength of schedule.
Right.
And it's based on the results of your opponents. We didn't know what that was going to look like before the season. That's why we go back to the preseason rankings. Mean absolutely nothing. And now we do see that NC State has gone through essentially the strength of the ACC.
The last two teams NC State will face will be here at Carter Finley Stadium. Florida State at 4-5 right now. North Carolina at 4-5. And by the way, that game has just been officially announced. A sellout. The streak is 27.
Shocker.
So you're not doing basketball. You're not the analyst at basketball. You're not preparing for the games. You're not at the arena to do the games. Have you found that odd?
No.
Okay.
It's strange to say that, but I keep up with what's going on. But I'll tell you, I like the way that Coach Wade kind of stays after his guys.
Yes.
He's not going to let them kind of coast through these early season games where you're expected to win and win big. I watched his press conference after the UAB game. He was very disappointed with the defense, particularly the perimeter on-the-ball defense, giving up a lot of straight-line drives and penetration. And you get defenses into rotations and help and recover, makes it very difficult to get back to shooters. And then it opens up offensive rebounding lanes, and they gave up 17 offensive rebounds.
Which he did not
to
like.
UAB, and a lot of that's created by that dribble penetration. So dribble penetration is lethal. He knows that. And he that was a point of emphasis, I know, in his post-game press conference.
It's been interesting to hear that in the post-game press conferences. He reiterated that on his first radio show with Chaz in the last week. And, you know, he talked about, too, he values the basketball. He hates turnovers. He monitors all turnovers during practice. He pointed out against UAB that State had 14 turnovers, 7 of them by their point guards. He goes, that's unacceptable. He even went to the point to talk about, you're the point guard. You have the ball in your hands. You have the program in your hands.
I heard that.
I thought that was a great quote.
Yeah.
And it shows you can win by 50, you can win by 24, but if you don't do the right things in the process to get there, he's going to let you know about it. That's called accountability, no matter the margin of victory or the loss if you happen to lose a game.
So you clean that up with this team's ability to score. You keep those turnovers 10 or below. Boy, then you're going to be difficult to defend.
That's exactly the number he pointed to. I want, below 10. We've caught you up to speed. Tony, you've got to go back to work this week. I hope you enjoyed last week, and but we're going to work you here for these last 3 weeks.
I'm going to grind it out.
You're going to grind
last 3 weeks.
And I hope you have another game in the postseason as well to get ready for.
Yeah, let's cross our fingers. Hope that's the case.
All right. We'll check in with you guys later. Appreciate your time. For Tony Haynes, I'm Jeff Gradley. See ya.